make those people recognize us.
People rank us so high, we just got to go out every Saturday and prove that we deserve that ranking.
I think the whole team has the attitude that it's not where you begin the season, but where you end up.
Clemson's players, they are out to recapture the memories and glory of 1981 when they finished #1 in the land. This year's class of '84 needs only 7 wins to have the best winning percentage in Clemson history. The Tigers posting a 32-2 mark, the best record over the last 3 years in collegiate football. Senior quarterback Mike Epley hopes to lead the Tigers to an outstanding season once again this year. Raycom Sports presents Clemson Tiger football. Today, it's the Mountaineers of Appalachian State hosted by Clemson in the 1984 season's opener. Today's game is brought to you by Trans-South. We are proud to lend to you. And Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. And by Zenith Data Systems. Quality goes in before the name goes on. From Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, it's the kickoff of the 1984 Clemson Tiger football season. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Ekman, and working with us this year is Kim McQuilkin, former quarterback from the Washington Redskins as well as the Atlanta Falcons. And Kim, when you take a look at Clemson versus Appalachian State, it looks like it's going to be a domineering ball club as far as the Tigers are concerned. But we can't forget that Appalachian State did upset Wake Forest in the first game of the year last year.
Well, that's exactly right, Art. The biggest factor in this game is overconfidence on the Clemson side of the field. Danny Ford has got to guard against that overconfidence, but I think the thing that's in his favor is the fact that this is opening day, and the Clemson Tigers have got to be up for opening day no matter who they're playing. And the great fans are certainly up and ready for it as well. First of all, when you look at Clemson, it's very difficult to find a weakness. 9-1-1 last year. They've got a lot of people returning. The one area Danny Ford was worried about was that defensive line. They've got William Perry anchoring the middle, and they've got experienced linebackers and a secondary backing them up. And an exciting offense, as we will soon see as we get set to kick off the 1984 season for the Clemson Tigers. Appalachian State will be defending the East goal as the Clemson Tigers have won the toss and elected to receive. There you see the kicker, Rocky Martin, 5'8", 163-pound senior out of Christiansburg, Virginia. As he toes it up and waiting at the goal line is Ray Williams on the far side, and there's Terry Rulak. Terrence Rulak, who last year did a nice job at returning kicks, and so did Williams. In fact, 112 yards on kickoff returns, the most by a Clemson player in 10 years. Number 45, ready to receive. And we've got a new rule this year, Art, in NCAA football. A ball kicked out of the end zone will be brought out to the 30-yard line. That might not affect Rocky Martin as much as it does Donald Igwebuike, who's made a practice of putting it through the end zone with non-returnable kickoffs. Getting set, I'm not exactly sure what, oh, they're waiting for the chains, I guess. Referee Donald Severt. Rosiano Amato is the umpire. The linesman Richard Tyndall. Line judge Edwin Jackson. Field judge Daniel Hogue. Back judge Brian Wall for today's ball game. This is their very first meeting, these two teams. Both teams making it a practice, however, to play teams in the opponent's conferences. It's coming to Rulak, and he takes it from the 4-yard line. Rulak with good blocking and slips through the wedge as he gets to the 25-yard line. Clemson 1st and 10. Quincy Bethea, a defensive back normally from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's only a freshman making the stop on the play. The ball spotted actually at the 26. So if you're a first-year coach right now, Kim McQuilkin, as Appalachian State does have a first-year coach, he was their offensive coordinator last year, Sparky Woods, he's got to be a little nervous. Tough situation for a first-time head coach. I'm sure he's got concerns not only winning this ball game, but getting through it and being able to play out the rest of the season. They'll swing at center. Epley calls the signals. That's Stacy Driver in motion. Goes right up the middle. Kenny Flowers. Flowers running out of that fullback spot. He's only a sophomore, but he's the first freshman to score 3 touchdowns in one game last year. That happened against the University of Virginia. 557 total yards last year, and he was averaging 4.4. Here's the defensive line now. Patton, Freeland, Downs, and Hardman. Up front for Appalachian State, the defensive linebackers, Withers, Trost, Hackett, and Felton, as we're set now with a 2nd and 6 situation. Stacy Driver hit hard at the 34-yard line by Dino Hackett.
And a big hit by Hackett. What's going to be interesting to watch early in this game, Art, is all preseason Clemson's been talking about how they want to mix in the pass a little bit more. But the weakest point on Appalachian State's defense is its defensive line. The only returner there is Patton. And I look for Clemson to run the ball early and run it right up the middle.
Driver coming out of the ball game on a 3rd and 2 situation from the 34-yard line. Flowers, the lone remaining back, and he gets the call, goes right up the middle. I don't think he made it. They stacked him up pretty well, Kim.
Absolutely. No movement that time out of the Clemson offensive line. They tried to go over the middle, also off of left tackle there. Excuse me, left guard with Reese. Here it is. As we look at it, no movement by the Clemson offensive line at all, and they've got a 4th down.
Looked like for a moment there that they had a hole made by Dale Swing, but then it closed up very rapidly. Andre Crawford receiving the first punt of the year from Hatcher, calls for the fair catch at the 28-yard line. Hatcher coming into this game as one of the outstanding punters in the nation, and we'll be right back in just a moment for more Clemson football. Appalachian State with their first series in this ball game, taking over on the 28-yard line. John Settle, the tailback. Clifford Reed, the fullback. Randy Joyce at quarterback. A movement was made. Jumping was Steve Berlin. Berlin, a reserve last year who gained a lot of experience in last season's play. Berlin making some spectacular plays. Noted movement. He made the move, and it'll be illegal procedures. So not a very good way to start the ball game offensively. See there on the...
Well, the right tackle just brought up his hand, and that's going to be 5 yards against Appalachian State. The big man to watch on their side of the field is the quarterback, Randy Joyce. Had a chance to graduate last year, decided to come back and play. He had another year of eligibility. They're going to rely on him heavily to move the ball today through the air.
John Settle, the top freshman in the conference last year, gets the call as a penalty flag goes into the air. He makes it to the 26-yard line, a gain of only about 2 yards on the play before the bandit Terrence Mack makes the stop. Only a sophomore, but once again getting lots of experience as a freshman. Perry Williams also helping out on the play. So it'll give it a 2nd and 14 situation. They're marking it at 13 yards to go for the first down. Johnny Sowell to the near side as a split receiver. As Joyce goes back looking his direction, tipped into the air and almost picked off.
Number 32,
Danforth
for Clemson. That time a rollout to Joyce's left. Clemson was playing a zone defense, and Joyce let the ball go that time in a place where he didn't want to.
Jeff Wells, we saw him as a tight end last year, is on the defensive side of the line now for Lynn, Perry, and Mack. There's the linebackers, experience both of them, Walls and Williams. And Perry jumping off, touching the shoulder pads. Possible illegal procedure. Let's check it off. Offside. Clemson this time will be a gain of 5.
Well, that's a big play for Appalachian State right there. Looking at 3rd and 14, that's a tough position to be in here back in your own 25. This 5-yard penalty is going to make it 3rd and 8, and I think that makes it gives them a little bit more breathing room as far as attempting this 3rd down conversion.
Not a very smart move in jumping offside in that particular case, as we've got the 3rd and 8 to go officially with 12:36 remaining here in the first quarter. Randy Joyce surveying the situation. Here's the rush. Fumble on the play. Michael Perry forced the action. And his brother, William Perry, picks up the football. What a combination. William Perry and Michael Perry starting against Appalachian State. First time since 1980 South Carolina game that brothers have started in a contest for Clemson. Here you take a look, Kim.
Well, Joyce is just trying to get rid of the ball. Doesn't even have time barely to get his back foot set, and the Perry brothers are all over him. Obviously a big turnover early in the game for Clemson.
Michael Perry, a red shirt coming into this ball game. And here's another angle at the same play. Look at the reach, the grasp as he came in from the backside.
Well, he just beat him to the outside that time. Nothing fancy.
Rulak on the reception. He gets to the 11, maybe to the 12-yard line.
Boy, and one advantage when you get that ball in good field position, you can really open up the offense.
Mike Epley, third nationally in passing efficiency last year. He needs only 17 yards total offense to go to the 2,000 career mark.
Pick up a 12 yards on the play. First and 10.
He now has over 2,000 yards. No, he doesn't. Not yet. Epley pitches back to Driver. Stacy's got good running room. Does he have the speed to beat the corner? Stepped out of bounds. Stacy Driver with a gain of 5 yards on the play. Jimmy Armstrong, number 25, forcing the action. Armstrong is sophomore from High Point, North Carolina.
Well, this was just a toss sweep to Clemson's left. At first, it looked like Driver had a lot of running room, but that secondary of Appalachian State came up in a hurry to force him outside.
Here's the pitch back to Stacy Driver from Griffin, Georgia.
You know, a big block there by 48, the fullback Flowers, but not enough to get him around the corner. We've got a penalty on Clemson, Art. Are they marking it, Ben?
They're stepping off a big one, too. Let's check it. Personal foul against Clemson. And so that'll put the football back on the 24.
Got about a 2nd and 20 from the 24 now.
2nd and 20 now from the 24.
That's the type of mental mistake, Kim, that Danny Ford was worried about coming into this ball game. Not being able to take advantage of a good situation. The blitz is on. Epley drops the ball, but look at those hands. You can tell he played basketball. Gets the pass away, incomplete. It was intended for Jim Riggs, number 99.
Well, number 93, Patton, for Appalachian State, came home scot-free. They had a game on up front. Nobody blocked him. And Epley was lucky to get out of there alive. There it is. No one touches Patton. He knocks the ball loose. What great presence here Epley has, but he throws the ball back in a crowd, Art.
And so we go to 3rd and 20 now at the 24. Ray Williams to the far side of the field and Terrence Rulak to the near side.
Nope.
And Chris Patton, number 93, a 3-year letterman.
Well, both teams certainly showing
Is
opening
pointing to
game
Dunn, right.
jitters so far in this first quarter.
Illegal procedure, Clemson, so we'll go back again.
Clemson, this 5-yard penalty really hurts because they were certainly in field goal range before the penalty. They could have taken one shot into the end zone, and if it's incomplete, go ahead and kick the field goal. Now we're looking at least a 46-yard attempt from this part of the field.
And still 11:43 remaining in the first quarter. Clemson's been already penalized 25 yards. Williams and Butler, the wide receivers. Up the middle it goes to Stacy Driver. No running room available. And that'll bring on the place-kicking team.
Well, they decided to go conservative. They tried to sprint draw. Absolutely no running room at all. They're going to go with the field goal attempt. This will be, what, about a 49-yard field goal.
Scott Williams is in to do the snapping. He's a 6'4", 210-pound senior from Hickson, Tennessee. And it's Peretti doing the holding for Igwebuike. He's got the leg that's strong enough. Gets it up and lots of power. Looks good from here. And it is good. Clemson taking over from a fumble and taking advantage of it to put 3 points on the board with 11 minutes and 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Some trap. So it's 3rd and 1 now with 8:04 remaining first quarter. 3-0 Clemson. Pitch back to Settle. Penalty flag down right near the first down marker.
Well, the toss sweep was designed to go outside. I think we may have a clip against the wide receiver from Appalachian State, the crackback block. That's exactly what it is.
Keith Williams at linebacker doing a good job on the play. And the Clemson Tigers now figuring out what their options are. We've got Terrence Mack at the Bandit. Michael Perry along with his brother William.
You know, you mentioned Terrence Mack. He's playing a very unusual position, the Bandit, and he's going to play predominantly as a linebacker, dropping back into coverage, but he will on certain plays have the option to rush the passer as well.
Very difficult position, especially last year when you considered he was only a freshman and started that position. Second penalty against the Mountaineers. They've been penalized 20 yards here in the first quarter. So it's a 3rd and 15 from midfield. Joyce back again, looks for Douglas, can't find anybody, has to get out of the pocket. And finally gets it to Steve Wilkes, the backup tight end from West Virginia, Bluefield, West Virginia. Terrence Mack was covering on the play.
Well, Joyce did a good job of staying alive that time and trying to make something happen. There was good coverage downfield. He moved out of the pocket, found somebody not good enough for the first down. You know, Appalachian State cannot make the kind of mistakes, meaning the 15-yard penalties, like they did on this series. There's no way that they're going to be able to stay in this game making those kind of mistakes.
Royals, Mark Royals, the punter, has almost as good an average as Hatcher for the Clemson Tigers. He puts it into the end zone, so Reggie Pleasant, who has great speed and has been known for his run backs, doesn't get the opportunities. The Clemson Tigers take over on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, with 6 minutes, 57 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 20. Epley hands it right up the middle to Rodney Quick. And the 6'3", 220-pound sophomore has some tough sledding up the middle that time.
Well, so far, the Clemson offensive line has really not asserted itself in this ball game. It's a senior group. They've got 5 seniors in that offensive line, and big things are expected of them, and I'm sure they're looking to move the ball a little bit better on the ground than they have so far.
2nd and 8 from the 22. Epley, straight drop. Nice throw. That's Boyer, Sheldon Boyer.
And a penalty, Art. I think it may be another personal foul. This was just a 3-step drop by Epley, the quick out. He found his receiver on the sideline, got good yardage for the first down. Looks like it's a face mask. He's going to get a little bit more.
Boyer had 9 receptions for 114 yards last year. He also holds a high jump record of 7-4, and this time he shows his quickness.
A nice pinpoint pass by Epley. You know, I saw no wasted motion in his delivery that time. There weren't any false steps. He got back on that back foot. As soon as he hit that 3rd step, he let it go right on the money.
Epley now with 2,500 yards in total offense in his Clemson career. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Williams in the slot to the near side. Pat Charleston is the wideout, and that's Epley on the option. Dino Hackett, the inside linebacker, making the stop. He's from Greensboro, North Carolina. And Epley with good yardage. Nice call on the play.
Well, it was a nice call. What's interesting is they, as you mentioned, they slotted 2 receivers to the far side of the field, ran the option back into the short side of the field. What they're trying to do there is get Appalachian State to rotate their defensive secondary to the wide side. They run away from the up-and-coming secondary coverage to the short side. They got good yardage.
2nd down, 1 to go at the 46 with 5:37 still remaining in the first quarter. I don't think they made it. In fact, there might be a fumble. Well, the way they're reacting down there, Flagler just didn't have any running room.
Well, they're pumped up. I mentioned at the top of the show this Appalachian State defensive line was young and inexperienced except for Patton. So far, they're holding up very well. There's a good play by 94, Mellick.
Chris Mellick.
3rd and 1, Tigers.
Mellick's not only on our 3 deep, but he certainly did the job there. A sophomore, 211 pounds.
Big play here, Art.
Penalty flag down. Flagler.
Flagler on the carry.
It's a 1st down if the penalty's not against Clemson.
Well, they threw it on the Clemson side of the field. Nope, they're calling it Appalachian State offside.
Keith Harrison made the stop on the play. It was 3rd and 1 at the 46.
You know, you can sense a tentativeness at the line of scrimmage really on both sides of the field. It being opening day, both teams don't seem quite set when they're ready to snap the ball, and as the game progresses, I'm sure we'll see a little bit less of that.
1st down for the Tigers. They declined the penalty. The ball resting just inside Mountaineer territory at the 49. Charleston to the far side, Rulak to the near side. The tight end Dunn is to Epley's right. Flowers, the remaining running back. Flowers gets the call. Couldn't get past the squeeze. In fact, the pulling tackle there, Jeff Cruz from Lake City, Florida.
Well, it looked a little bit like a pro set. The NFL, we're seeing a lot of one-back offenses, and that's exactly what Clemson was in that time. They brought a motion back to the far side of the field, tried to toss sweep, but they just couldn't get outside.
Charleston to the far side, Williams to the near side, and Epley fakes the handoff, looking for his tight end, but he can't find. Nobody's coming back to Epley now, and he has to run out of it.
Well, what he wanted to do after it was a play-action pass, after Epley set up, he wanted to throw the screen to Terrence Flagler over here on the right. Let's take a look at it.
You'll see Troy Washburn put the pressure on him and Chris Patton make the stop.
He fakes to Flagler. Now Flagler's snuck out of the backfield over to Epley's right, but Appalachian State had him covered. Epley just showing a lot of athletic ability here, staying alive, trying to make something happen.
And there goes Patton to push him out of bounds, the 3-year senior.
You know, so far Patton's all over the field.
Patton showing that he's living up to his preseason expectations, that's for sure. 3rd and 15 from the 46. And Epley goes to the airwaves once again. There's the blitz. Number 51, Cedric Felton, 2-year letterman, a junior from Rochester, New York, breaks through. Well, he has a nose guard as a freshman, but he's quick enough to be that linebacker, that's for sure.
Well, watch this. Here's the blitz. Appalachian State brings everybody. It's man-to-man coverage on the outside on Ray Williams. That's who Epley wanted to his left, but look at this. Not enough time to get rid of the ball. A big sack by Appalachian State.
And it wasn't the fact that they didn't pick up the blitz, because Flagler got a good hit on him. He just kept pursuing on the play.
That's right.
So it's 4th and 25 now for Clemson. Appalachian State's defense doing an outstanding job. Got a timeout on the field, it looks like.
You know, whenever you blitz like that, something good and something bad can happen. That time, something good happened for Appalachian State. Clemson had a real shot at a big play if they didn't get to the quarterback that time, because Ray Williams was streaking on a post pattern down the middle.
Immediately after today's game at Gate 1 of the stadium.
Hatcher, 7th in the country with a 43.6 average in punting last year. In for his 2nd punt this season. Andre Crawford, number 6, is deep. Beautiful hang time on this kick. He's got to go fair catch it at the 19-yard line. Later in the telecast, we'll be picking a Brute Player of the Game. Today's your Brute Day. Great days seem to happen more often when you're wearing Brute by Fabergé. After shave, after shower, after anything. Brute by Fabergé. An opening for the Mountaineers. John Edmond.
A big opening up the middle.
On the 1st and 10 from the 19, we've got another first down situation for the Mountaineers.
Really just a little belly series play. Dive to the fullback up the middle. There was a big hole there. Clemson overran the play. And that's a big first down.
Ball placement now at the 39-yard line. Randy Joyce, the quarterback. Jenkins shifting back to a tailback spot, and he gets the call. Hit hard that time by Dwayne Meadows, number 84. Makes it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard on the play to the 40.
You know, Art, as this game progresses and Appalachian State remains in the game, they've got to be building up confidence.
Boy, I'd like to hear the halftime talk by Danny Ford. 2 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Only 3-0. And I say only because Clemson was expected to dominate this game. Batted down nicely at the line of scrimmage. And once again, Dwayne Meadows, a freshman, making his presence felt.
Well, I really think Randy Joyce is lucky he gets this ball batted down, because he's trying to throw a quick out to his left. Clemson was in the right coverage. They rotated up both corners on the outside receivers, and both outside receivers were double teamed. There were a lot of people out there, and I think that may be a good break for Appalachian State on this play. It's 3rd and 9, Art.
fine replay of Meadows as he kind of like a cat snuck in there, and all of a sudden when he saw the passer was ready to throw for the 7th time in the ball game, just sprung up into the air. Joyce on a 3rd and 8 has to drop it off quickly. Great pressure that time, and it comes from Crawford, Craig Crawford, number 49.
Well, we also saw Clemson in its first blitzing situation that time. They gambled, put some pressure on the quarterback, and it paid off for them.
Crawford's a converted running back with 39 yards on the carry.
They also had Kenny Brown in there that time, number 9, as one of the blitzers. Here's a bobble.
Beautiful, though, as he kept his poise to get it away. Reggie Pleasant with a chance on a run back now from the 12-yard line. Cuts up nicely and gets about as much as you can in a situation like that. Moves it over the 20-yard line where the Tigers will take it over 1st and 10.
Well, that time the punter almost laid the ball on the carpet, but as you mentioned, kept his poise and really got off a great kick.
Mark Royals has really been known for his punting. He's done an outstanding job for them, averaging 43.3 a kick. That's only 3/10 of a yard off of Hatcher's mark, and the 2nd best in Appalachian State history. Epley on the 1st down play rollout. Hits him clean. Sheldon Boyer. That was a bullet.
Well, this is just a well-executed play. Epley rolling to his left. Boyer goes down and button hooks to the inside, and Epley's going to hit him right on the numbers. Watch this on the dead run. Here he comes out. Good blocking, good protection. Throwing to his left, he's got those shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, puts the ball right on the numbers. Boyer turns it up, gets a few extra yards.
Jimmy Armstrong making the stop for Appalachian State. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line for Clemson. Williams in motion to the near side. Epley goes to his tailback. Flagler's got the speed, and he slips up, and he's taken down at the 45. Keith Hairston making a fine stop from his free safety spot.
And that pass play, just the play before, set this play up. This almost looks like a sprint out, but he's going to hand the ball off to the tailback. Here it comes. Good block by the fullback. Plenty of rushing room down there. He's well into the secondary.
Flagler 3 carries for 22 yards in the ball game. Redshirt sophomore. 1st and 10 from the 45. Up the middle again. Terrence Flagler stopped by Chris Patton, number 93. We've seen a lot of that 93 shirt. He was helped out by James Hartman.
Well, 93's been all over the football field, and Appalachian State so far in this game bends a little bit, but they don't break.
Flagler starting out this season kind of similar as to last year when he was the leading rusher after 2 games with 202 yards. Then he got a knee problem against Boston College, and it was a very difficult problem requiring an operation. He was out for the year. 2nd and 9 at the 44. Epley, no place to go that time.
Well, this is the option. He faked to the dive back. The pitch man was taken away. Epley had to eat it himself.
Anthony Downs, he's only a freshman, 6'2", 257 pounds, combining with Chris Patton. And there's the horn that ends the 1st quarter of action. With the score, Clemson 3, Appalachian State nothing. We'll be back in a moment. Clemson leading 3-0 as we begin the 2nd quarter of action now with Kenny Flowers and Terrence Flagler, the running backs in the I formation. Williams to the near side. It's a 3rd and 8 from the 43. Epley looks to the airwaves. Dumps it off. It goes to Flagler. Flagler just over the line of scrimmage.
Well, this was a screen pass to Epley's right. What Clemson did was line up both receivers way outside to spread that secondary out of Appalachian State. But it really didn't work because the defense pursued very well on this play, and they've come up with a 4th down.
Hatcher comes in to punt. And back deep is Andre Crawford.
See what kind of hang time Hatcher gets on this.
He's averaged 41 yards in his last 2 kicks, but he's had tremendous hang time and great coverage and drills it. Goes up to the 2nd deck at least, and will be in good position to nail inside the 5 here. Look at that kick. Hatcher jumping for joy as he comes off the field.
I'll tell you, Art, I had the clock on him that time. He's got 5 full seconds of hang time, which anything in the NFL, they like over 4 seconds. That's a great, great punt.
And the way it came down, it didn't have a trip that took it into the end zone. He landed it just outside the 5, and it just kind of rolled over down to the 3. Right. 1st and 10 from the 3 now for the Mountaineers. A great kicking game can certainly be one of your finest assets. And Clemson has one of the finest. The 3 points they have on the board thanks to Donald Igwebuike's 49-yard field goal. Randy Joyce back to toss. Lobs one. Good position for interception over the head of not only the intended receiver Soule, but also Tyrone Davis, number 37.
Well, a pretty good call by Appalachian State. You're backed up to your own 3-yard line. The crowd screaming defense. Clemson was obviously up. The go pattern here is not a bad play at all as long as you put the ball in the right place. That time we had no receiver open. Clemson back in a zone, almost expecting the play, but not a bad play call on their part.
There's the ankle on ice of Rod Quick, a fullback, the sophomore from Charleston, South Carolina. Crucial play right here, Kim, on a 2nd and 10 from the 3.
Well, they've come in with a short yardage type offense with 2 tight ends in the game.
What a hit that time by Eldridge Milton. He had 78 hits last year, and he picked off Cliff Reed.
A big play by Eldridge. He just blitzed in from his inside linebacker position. Nobody picked him up. Let's watch it. There's the guard blocking down. No one on the linebacker, and stopped him right in the tracks. A big play.
Milton famous for wrestling alligators as a boy. He's from the state of Georgia. 3rd and 10 at the 3. That's Perry in on the play along with Berlin.
Well, that time William Perry just overcame what seemed like the entire Appalachian State offensive line and forced everybody down in the backfield. 330 pounds of William Perry all over the quarterback.
And so Clemson takes a 5-0 lead with 13:25 remaining in the 2nd period. That's Steve Berlin making the initial hit. But of course, when you have a situation like that, Kim, everybody plays an important part.
Well, absolutely. They try to draw play in the end zone, which is a very unusual call. It's very seldom do you want to drop back into your end zone and hand the ball off back there, so I'm kind of surprised at that call. William Perry just pulled the center out of the way. Berlin was in there, and the running back didn't have a chance.
Perry, of course, consensus All-American, finalist for the Outland, needed 13 tackles coming in for a loss and 5 quarterback sacks to set Clemson records.
Now, I asked Danny Ford yesterday during practice about William Perry, and he said the thing about William is that on a football field there isn't anything that he thinks he can't do. He thinks he can do it all, and he showed us some of it right there.
Mark Royal to kick off.
The punter, Mark Royal, is in. Stacy Driver, along with Ray Williams, standing at their own 20 on the free kick situation. In the last 2 punts, Royal has averaged 40 yards. That's Williams at the 30. He's got good running room. Into Mountaineer territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, Clemson's going to get the ball here in good field position.
Tom Trost making the stop on Ray Williams. Beat a guy by Trost. He had a lot of running room ready. Good blocking formulated on that play, too. They're going to call it the 47-yard line, 1st and 10. Epley.
Not a bad day so far. 4 out of 5, 40 yards, no interception.
Steve Griffin in a tailback. Flowers the fullback. That's Flowers. Mountaineers pretty well stacking up the middle.
Well, that was the same short side of the field option play. They had the wide receiver out to their right trying to stretch out that secondary, but Appalachian came up, supported well that time.
Tim Knox from Kannapolis, North Carolina, making the stop. He's only a sophomore. Flowers, there's you see last year's statistics. On a 2nd and 9 from the 46. That's Griffin. Griffin has been extremely impressive in preseason drills.
Well, Steve Griffin makes a great cut right at the line of scrimmage. This was designed to go off right tackle. You're going to watch him come over his right guard and cut back to his left. Right here, a great move by Griffin. A lot of running room back on that back side. And he's down into the secondary for big yardage.
His first carry for 11 yards. He was named outstanding player in the Clemson spring practice. Over 100 yards in 3 of the scrimmages. From the 35 on a 1st and 10 situation. Clegg made the tackle, by the way, on that last play as Epley drops back, spins it quickly. Pretty good coverage on that particular play. I think it was Rulak. Yes, it was.
Well, I think Mike Epley would like to have this one back. He's taking a 3-step drop. He hit his back foot, let the ball go well. His hips were in good position, but I think he just pulled the string a little bit on the ball and led the receiver out of bounds a little bit too far.
An outside linebacker is a tall 6 feet, too, Everett Withers, who was playing it perfectly to cut off the angle. And I think Epley was rather bothered by his presence. 2nd and 10 from the 35. The up man. And Kenny Flowers advances the ball inside the 30-yard line. So it should be about a 3rd and 3 or 4 to go for a Clemson first down.
Well, this time the Clemson team was running over the left guard Reese, who they feel to be probably their best all-around lineman.
There's a good shot of Reese, number 63. Look at the 2 team.
There's a double team there. Reese got a good piece of his man, but
Reed Engel doing a nice job coming over, the senior from Calhoun, Georgia. The penalty, though, is against Clemson. And it's a big one, putting it back to the 44, make it the 45-yard line. A clip. And the 4th penalty of this first half. They've assessed 40 yards of penalties against Clemson so far in the first half. Still 12:09 remaining 2nd quarter.
Oh, now they've got a 2nd and 20. Let's see if they try to get a piece of it back on 2nd down. You don't have to get it all.
Butler to the near side, and Rulak goes to the far side. Epley. Nice. Drops the ball right on the money to Rulak.
Well, I'll tell you, Terrence Rulak did everything right here except catch the ball. It's a straight drop back by Epley. He is in the pocket nicely, let the ball go on time. Rulak went down about 15 yards in button hook. Let's take a look at it. He's going to come down, run a hook pattern, come back to his quarterback. He's coming back to the ball here, but he just doesn't hang on to it. Epley took a shot when he let that one go, Art. Here it is. He's trying to catch the ball in his hands, which is what you're supposed to do, but it just went right through that time.
3rd and 20. Epley with a deep drop. The blitz is on. And he's dropped at the 45. Dino Hackett from the linebacker spot once again.
One of the things you don't want to do as a quarterback as you're dropping back is turn your back to the line of scrimmage, which Epley was forced to do this time as he felt the rush. You lose sight of your receivers downfield, and consequently he had nowhere to go with the ball.
Andre Crawford stepping back to his 12-yard line. You see him there as Hatcher is standing on his own 30, ready for his 4th punt of the afternoon, and another great one. We're right at the beginning of the 2nd deck, and we can see it just almost right across from us as it hits its peak. And this one he's rather disturbed with because he put it into the end zone. With 11 minutes remaining to play here in the first half, Clemson 5, Appalachian State nothing. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. From the 20 for the Mountaineers. Joyce bobbles the snap. And the scramble for the ball. It looks like Appalachian State got the football back. Henry Walls was in there along with Steve Berlin.
Well, and that would have been a costly mistake.
It was a real grab bag down there with the ball spurting loose on the center snap.
Still a lot of time left in this first half.
It's kind of unusual, really, with Jay Wilson, a 3-year letterman, 6'4", 274, snapping the ball to a senior quarterback.
That's right.
2nd down and 12 on the 18 for the Mountaineers. What a jump Perry got. Intercepted by Walls, and he drops the ball at the 21-yard line. Henry Walls was looking for 7, or at least 6.
Well, Walls was right in position. Randy Joyce would really like to have this one back. I think it's a play-action pass. Perry breaks scot-free. Joyce has to roll to his right and really just throws it into a crowd. And look at this.
How many drills, I wonder if he's been through so far before the season opened up, and he gets his chance right there.
Henry Walls is not going to want to see that one on the film tomorrow.
3rd and 12 at the 18. Well, he's the kind of player that learns, though, and he'll come back and grab the next one. Good coverage, but no one's tackling. It was John Settle on the carry, the tailback, the top rusher from last year's team, and finally Williams making the tackle. Keith Williams, a redshirt sophomore.
Well, here's the run. You know, you've got to think that on 3rd and long, almost an interception on the previous play, the Appalachian State coaches are thinking, we don't want a big mistake down here, so let's keep the ball on the ground. Terrence Mack, the bandit, came up and made the play. Fumble after he hit the ground.
Forces the punting situation. 4th and 2, and Royal gets a line drive away. This might be able to be run back by Pleasant, but he bobbles the ball and picks it up 25. Decent coverage by this time, and he's out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So 9 minutes and 29 seconds remaining second quarter as Struggy Smith made the tackle from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Who's Smith?
Struggy.
Struggy, okay.
Must be a family tradition.
Struggy Smith.
.29, 5-0 Clemson. Williams on the far sideline as the pitch goes back, and it's to Steve Griffin. Chris Patton making the tackle, number 95 on Griffin. Not after a good gain on a first down play. He moved it over the 35, so it'll be second and make it 6 yards to go officially for the first down.
Well, now there's an example. The play didn't look like much, but that time the Clemson offensive line fired off the ball, and they got that initial thrust to where they got out there and got 5 yards on that play.
Griffin now in 2 carries has 15 yards in his premier appearance. Epley zings it to Rulak. Holds on to it this time. First down and more. Midfield, 45, out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Maybe at the 41 maybe, or he stepped back there saying at the 46. But that's still more than enough for the first down as Keith Hairston makes the tackle.
And very nice execution by Epley here. Faking the quick toss to his left, turns and fires the quick screen to his right. There's Dunn out there throwing a block out in front of Rulak. And a big gainer down the side. Real nice execution by Epley that time, though, Art.
Epley 57 yards through the air as we pick up with a 1st and 10 now at the 47-yard line, just inside Mountaineer territory. Epley taking plenty of time, almost as if an audible might have been called as he hands it to Henry Carter, number 40, a freshman from Gastonia, North Carolina. Ball placement at the 45, a gain of 2. Danny Ford loving to bring in plays with his wide receivers as Terrence Rulak comes into the huddle.
Well, he's utilizing a lot of running backs today and a lot of wide receivers.
2nd and 8 Tigers from the 45.
Williams split left. Rulak up to the right. Epley. That's done. His first reception of the year inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. This KD Dunn is something else. Last year, 17 receptions for 236 yards and 5 touchdowns, Kim.
And isn't it nice to have a quarterback like Mike Epley? Look how smooth he is. The play-action pass, faking to his fullback. On the dead run, throws back across his body, hits Dunn, who's wide open. Real nice execution by the Clemson offense that time.
And finally, linebacker Anthony Downs had to make the tackle. Not much running room on the 1st and 10 from the 28. Steve Griffin tries to cut inside, but he doesn't lose any as he moves it close to the 25-yard line. They're going to place it at the 26 or 27, so make it a gain of only a yard.
Talking to Mike Epley yesterday at practice, Art, he came up to me and reminded me that I was a coach at a camp he was at one time in junior high school. And
he made it through okay, huh?
Well, he's calling me sir, which really bothers me.
They make him polite here at Clemson, that's for sure. Chris Patton, another tackle to his credit, as we now have a 2nd and 9 from the 26-yard line. Look at that runner, Kenny Flowers. Flowers inside the 15. Darrell Russell making the tackle, number 8. He's from Chicago Heights, Illinois. He combined with Keith Hairston.
Well, you know, they keep banging away, banging away, banging away. They don't get anything 2-3 plays in a row, and then all of a sudden Kenny Flowers goes over Reese, the left guard, and they're into the secondary for a big gainer.
Looked like that play was actually designed to go further inside, and there was just no running room, and Flowers making the good move.
He bounced it outside. You're exactly right.
1st and 10 at the 13 now for Clemson. Once again, we go to Griffin. Touchdown! Steve Griffin, what a thrill for a sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's earned his way out of this ball club. There's no question about that, because he's a terrific practice player. They saw his abilities.
No, nothing fancy about this play. Now the Clemson offensive line is really asserting itself in this ball game. This time they went over the left side again. There was a big hole there. Reese really just running straight ahead for the touchdown.
Williams the snap, ready to hold. Igwebuike puts it up through the uprights. And the Clemson Tigers have their first touchdown of the 1984 season, and the extra point makes it 12-0. Watch the blocking here, Kim.
It's a reverse pivot toss off the left side. The fullback Flowers throws a nice block. And look at the cutback running. They just blew the whole right side of the Appalachian's defensive line off the ball.
Reed Engel just really leveled his man. A senior from Calhoun, Georgia, 6'6", 272-year letterman at that left tackle spot, number 59. We expect to see more of him in this ball game as well. 6:33 remaining to be played here in the second quarter. Tigers leading it 12-0. We'll be back with more Tiger football in just a moment. A drive that took only 2 minutes 56 seconds. 8 plays. They went 69 yards for their first touchdown, and Donald Igwebuike pumps one into the end zone, and he touched it before it went out. Derek Jenkins. So it should come out to the 20 instead of the 30.
I'm going to have to wait and see. Looks like you're absolutely right.
If he'd have let it go and it would have fallen outside the end zone, it would be placed out at the 30-yard line.
That's right.
But he touched it and it went out.
Good point. I believe the rule reads if it's unreturnable, and the ruling there is if he gets his hands on it, it's returnable.
6 minutes, 33 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Appalachian State trying to get on the scoreboard. They've done fairly well against this dominating Clemson team. Clemson Tigers leading at 12-0. Joyce gives to his tailback, Settle. Settle moving up toward the first down marker at the 30-yard line before Terrence Mack finally makes the stop.
Number 23 on the run, John Settle. Lead by Anthony Johnson.
Well, here's the reverse pivot by Joyce, just handing off to his fullback straight ahead. William Perry has a shot at him, just misses him.
Nice blocking right up the middle there, especially by Jay Wilson and Ed Boyd, the left guard from Charlotte, North Carolina, opening up the hole. So it's a 1st and 10. They got the first down at the 30-yard line for the Mountaineers. Joyce gives it to Settle once again, and he's ripping off yardage for another first down. Scrambled at the last second inside the 40 to get outside, and Keith Williams then secured him there.
Well, it looked like the same play. This time he bounced it outside. Got around the corner enough for the first down.
Settle his 6th carry for 36 yards. Meadows out of the ball game, and Michael Perry comes back in. 1st and 10 from the 41. Settle. This time he's cut from behind.
Johnny Settle on the carry.
That was Michael Perry, who just came into the ball game from Aiken, South Carolina. He's had a very fine first game. Not only with good pressure on the passer, but also good containment.
Well, 2nd and 9 here. I'm sure Randy Joyce is going to have to go to the air.
At the 41-yard line. 5:10 left in the second quarter.
Look out.
Almost got the football. Mike Isaacs, and is he fast? No one would have ever caught him anyway, but he's got a 4.55 in the 40.
Well, Mike Isaacs was playing strong safety. He was rotated up into the flat. We'll see it here. It's a 3-step drop by Joyce, and he just lets it go into the coverage. There comes Isaacs, and it would have been coast to coast, Art.
Young man from Pickens, South Carolina, a senior, 5'11", and it's still now 3rd and 9 from the 41-yard line. Good poise inside that pocket. Not enough for the first down, but Jenkins hauls the ball in. Derek Jenkins from Norfolk, Virginia. And it's about the 49-yard line, the placement. So it'll be a 4th and a couple of yards. Let's check out the replay, Kim.
Well, Randy Joyce showing some mobility back here in the pocket. He sets up. We've got the pass rush. He's going to step up past the pass rush, find somebody open down the middle. Just not quite enough for the first down. The Clemson defense did what they wanted to do. Don't give up the first down.
Mark Royals, it's a good thing he's tall, and the penalty flag will come out. Roughing the kicker as he gets a beautiful punt away that rolls dead about the 5-yard line. And it doesn't look like he's feeling too well. Mark Royals, a junior, he's 6'4". I was going to say that it's a good thing he was tall because he could reach up for the poor snap to pick it out of the air. But it ruined his timing, and the Clemson rush came in on top of him to pick off the kicking leg.
Well, here it is. You're right. It's a very high snap. Unusual to have a kicker that's as tall as he is.
Looked like Mack.
But he gets hit right in the knee by Terrence Mack. And they're helping him off the field. He's limping. Have to see if he can come back and kick again. There he is on the sidelines.
He was on a bench in All-Southern Conference selection last year, 2nd in the league in punting. And actually had the 2nd-best average, as we mentioned before, in Appalachian State University history.
And, you know, in the face of the pressure, he still got off a great kick that went out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
5 penalties against Clemson for 55 yards here in the first half. Still 4:20 remaining, but this gives you outstanding field position, of course, for the Mountaineers at the 35-yard line for the first down.
Well, Art, this would be a great place to go for 6 right here.
Clemson fans trying to drive some incentive into their ball club down on the field. Randy Joyce.
I think he's audibilizing.
Wingman is Cliff Reed. He makes the block for Settle, who gets the corner and gets almost to the first down to fumble. Let's check to see who recovers that football. I think the Mountaineers got it back. Reggie Pleasant made the hit that sprung the ball loose.
Well, this is an off-tackle play to Joyce's left. We're going to see Cliff Reed with a great block here on the outside. It's not going to show up on your screen. There it is, right there.
And Cliff Reed was the gentleman who recovered the football.
John Settle cutting it up inside the block. They were lucky to get that ball back.
There's Reed coming in from the edge of the screen. So a great break for the Mountaineers.
Look at that.
Take another look.
Pleasant putting his helmet right on the football. That's the way it should be done, Art.
2nd and 6 from the 31 for the Mountaineers. Knocking on the door with 3:51 remaining here in the second quarter. Settle is collapsed with a great linebacker charge along with Derek Jenkins from the secondary. Well, there was no place to go.
Well, I'm surprised that Appalachian State is trying to go at Clemson so much on the ground. If they're going to win this game, they've got to come up with some big plays through the air. While they've got to keep Clemson on guard to the running game, they've got to take their chances, and so far they haven't done a lot of that in this game.
Second quarter action. Let's see what Mountaineer coach Sparky Wood told his young quarterback, Randy Joyce.
Everybody up in the line of scrimmage for Clemson.
Incompleted. It was intended for number 83, Ken Williams, the wide receiver from Lakeland, Florida. We do have Davis, though, and slow in getting up off the play.
Well, that time Clemson's secondary really came up and challenged the Mountaineers offense. Nobody was deeper than 7-8 yards off the ball. Appalachian State had a quick post called, and because of the tight coverage, there was no opening here. 4th down, and they're going for it.
I'm surprised we didn't see a long post pattern on that play. 4th and 7 now at the 32-yard line. Look at that secondary. They're all within about 10 yards of the snap. Almost picked off. Good defense. Terrence Mack had another shot at it. after number 22, Mike Isaacs, was the first one to tip the ball. So the Tiger defense holds.
Well, you called it, Art. The Clemson secondary was right up on the ball, right up there challenging. Evidently, they feel their team speed's a lot greater. Look at the coverage there. All over Steve Wilkes, the receiver. That was Mike Isaacs making the play. And they just came up and challenged him, and Appalachian State couldn't get open.
Williams to the near side, and it's Boyer to the far side now. And a 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Clemson takes over the football with 3 minutes remaining. And evidently, there was a mix-up on the signs. Williams started in motion. Epley knew that was the wrong thing to do and wisely called timeout. Oh, yes, the fun and camaraderie of college. That Tiger gets away with more than I've ever seen anywhere. 1st and 10 at the 32. Epley swings it to Williams. Nice move. Can't get the block, though, from Dunn he needs, and he's dropped at the 35. So it's only a gain of about 3 before Bradley Taylor making the stop, a freshman out of Brooklyn, New York.
You know, I really like the way Epley executes this play, though. He's got real precise short moves in there on his fake. He fakes the quick toss on this play, then throws a quick screen out to his left. The ball is actually completed behind the line of scrimmage, and it's up to the ball carrier to make a move and get some yardage.
Very seldom does he throw a poor pass, and I mean poor percentage-wise. He's got his man right there. Jimmy Riggs, and Riggs to the 45. He's met there by Taylor once again, and Jimmy Armstrong. Epley, who had 77 yards through the air before that pass, puts them into Mountaineer territory at the 44 with this one, Kim.
Nothing fancy. This is a 7-step drop. He's taking his full drop. Look at the protection he's got. The tight end just went down the middle, hooked it up, made the reception, and now he's loose.
And before we can get back, it's Stacy Driver on the carry to the 24-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in the period, and Clemson wants a score before the end. Here's a look at it, Kim, as Driver just goes straight off the right side.
Out of the I formation over right guard, right up the middle. That Clemson offensive line really asserting itself now.
Driver, 4 carries, 23 yards from the 26. Epley looking at Williams, looks for help now, and goes to the wide out to the far side, out of bounds. Nice move by Charleston, Pat Charleston. His first catch of the year after 3 pass catches last year for 40 yards.
Well, I'm amazed Epley completes this ball. Let's take a look at it. He wanted to throw the quick out, just a 3-step drop to his left. But look at the time his offensive line is giving him, Art. They gave him enough time that he didn't have his receiver over on the left. He came all the way back over to the right side of the field and completed the pass.
A great catch by Charleston, who's got to be thrilled as a sophomore to be getting so much playing time. Driver up the middle. Great blocking as he moves almost to the 10-yard line. Scott Clegg from Athens, Georgia, making the tackle. He had 17 tackles, 6 assists, and 2 interceptions last year at the inside linebacker spot. He's only a sophomore. That offensive line, though, just driving people out of there and letting Driver drive right up the middle.
They're really establishing their presence, and Danny Ford really throwing a plethora of running backs at Appalachian State with Driver, Griffin, Flagler.
They can get a first down and not a touchdown, but he goes for the end zone. Good. Rulak. Terrence Rulak picks it off and gets the touchdown. Rulak last year with 4 touchdowns. I don't think he's too happy, do you? Nice mixture of offensive plays in this drive.
Well, Epley just smooth as silk on that play. A rollout to his left. We will take a look at it after the extra point.
Epley completing 59.6% of his passes last year, and he's just off to a terrific start. Igwe Buike's point after is up, and it's through the uprights. 1 minute remaining in the second. 19-0 lead on this play.
Well, here it is. He's faking to the tailback. That's the play they just ran. He just keeps rolling out on the dead run. He's got a shoulder square, Art. That's the key there. And look at this ball. Right on the money.
And Rulak doing a terrific job of staying in bounds and making sure the feet come in. Rulak, the 12-yard pass reception, capping a 68-yard drive in 6 plays. Rulak on the bench getting a break, but he just can't stand to sit still, can he?
Well, you know, I'm impressed. The thing I'm impressed about with their wide receivers is every one of them come back to the ball. Watch, Rulak's angle will be coming back towards the sidelines, and that prevents any defenders from cutting in. He's making sure he got both feet in that time. They're very well disciplined, even though they're young wide receivers, very disciplined, well coached.
Jenkins and Settle are going back to receive, as you see Donald Igwe teeing up the football.
Let's see if he tries to pooch it down there inside the 10 this time.
Well, you know, before the new rule went into effect this year, he had 107 out of 180 non-returnable kickoffs in 3 seasons. He was probably one of the big reasons the rule came into effect.
You know, I'm not sure I agree with the new rule either, Art, because it's penalizing a man for doing a great job.
Doesn't matter to him. He's putting a high floater that goes out of the end zone unreturnable. It'll go over at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to bring this one. But, you know, there's a man that did his job too well, and it's going to hurt his team. I think maybe I'd rather see them move the kickoff back 5 yards,
yes,
like the NFL.
I agree with you, Kim. Here's the last scoring drive that gave Clemson a 19-0 lead in 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Capped off with the 11-yard toss by Epley.
First and 10 State from the 30.
Appalachian State now at the 30-yard line. First time we've seen the new rule in effect on kickoffs actually applied. Perry getting over the center and through into the backfield to nail the runner. Could never get going. John Settle from Ruffin, North Carolina, sophomore, must have wondered, what did I do to deserve this?
Well, Danny Ford told me there's nothing that William Perry cannot do. You know, he says the man weighs 330 pounds. He can do a 1.5 dive off the low board.
Is there any water left, though?
Can you picture that?
32 seconds remaining before halftime.
Second and 14 from the 26.
Second and 14. Jay Wilson, the snap at center, and no one to hand off to. The quarterback gets tackled by Dwayne Meadows. Randy Joyce now looking up at the clock as it's still moving. What a wonderful afternoon for football. Sunny with not a cloud in the sky here at Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson leading at 19-0 at 10 seconds on the clock. The Appalachian State runner breaks away, and look out, there's only one guy back, and that's Tyrone Davis. And Settle gets by him and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. The time has expired, I believe.
Well, Reggie Pleasant caught him. What a shame for Appalachian State. Watch the block by Cliff Reed here, number 21. He's been blocking well all afternoon. Right there, he's the guy that's going to spring Settle.
He took Danford out of the play, Kim.
All the way down the sidelines.
That was Davis, and then finally it gave Pleasant some time to catch up.
And what a tough break as time runs out.
So that's the end of the first half of action with the score. Clemson 19, Appalachian State nothing. We'll be back with halftime after these words from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.